What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning to another video. Today we have another saddle unboxing. We're gonna get straight into it. It's a Fizik 3D printed saddle. My most recent saddle video was with the Riot 3D printed saddle from AliExpress compared to my previous Fizik 3D printed saddle. Got a good deal on this one. We're gonna go into the boxing, get my first impressions on it, see how it rides indoor and outdoor, and let's go from there. Box from Fizik. I already unboxed it, but essentially you'll just get this cardboard box, and then here's the saddle itself. I already pulled it from the packaging, so it'll come in this cardboard mount, whatever you want to call it. So this is the Antares R1 Adaptive road racing saddle. I got a 150 width. Ideally, I would be a 145, 146 based on measurements. The 143 on the Specialized feels a little bit narrow, while the 149 on my other Fizik saddle feels pretty good. So I thought 150 wouldn't be too bad. Worst comes to worst, give it a shot, and if I don't like it, I could sell it on Facebook or eBay. I was able to pick this up for a steal, about $170 with tax off Performance Bike. It was the last one on clearance. Saw the price, said why not? The other Fizik I had was good, so I wanted to give a shot with this one. This one is also noted at 185 grams. We'll weigh that shortly. But this is the saddle itself. Doesn't look like it was used or anything like that. Carbon rails. I'm not sure about the shell itself, but 3D printed material. And one thing that I do like about the more expensive, well-known ones is that they are much firmer with their 3D printed material, and then on the wings and then in the center kind of cutout area, not really, it's a lot softer where it needs to be. While with the Riot, it was pretty mushy or soft throughout the entire saddle itself. And then comparing to my other Fizik, that one was firm in the right places as well and then soft in others. I'm going to put that side by side with this one. Setting the saddle on the scale, just like the information cardboard thing setup says, it's 185 grams. We're gonna weigh it and see if it actually measures as is. Oh, change some ounces. All right, so for grams, it weighs 188. Stated 185. We're gonna redo it just to be sure. So 0 grams, nothing on the scale. Yep, 188. So 3 grams more than stated. Not a huge deal, but for those that do care about weight, and if you want it exactly as Fizik or any other brand says so, this does weigh a little more. I'm sure other saddles will go through the same thing. Some might be a little less, some might be a little more. Some might be on the dot. This is what I weighted at. So this is my Fizik Antares versus Evo Adaptive 00, if I'm not mistaken, or just the versus Evo Adaptive, what it says right there. This is my most used saddle. This is currently on my trainer bike, and didn't want to move it onto the tarmac, mainly because it was kind of annoying to put on with the bolt that usually comes on top of the seat post. Since this one doesn't have a cutout, this one doesn't have the same, so it will be a little bit of a playing around situation. But these are the two saddles side by side. We were able to take off the old saddle, mount it on. These rails are a lot thicker, 7x9 if not mistaken, and these are normal size rails, not carbon. So should be a little lighter than this saddle, and we'll just get right into testing this out. Closing in on this trainer ride, first ride, official ride with the new saddle. So after an hour or so, a little over an hour based on what I see on Zwift, this was a pretty good saddle, pretty comfortable, very comparable to my other Fizik saddle. Didn't really have to move around too much to adjust. The length was the same, so same placement on the exact bike, same degree. Yeah, I would say so far for the first ride impression, very, very good, quite comfortable. So I'm gonna move this onto my outdoor bike and take it out for a ride when I get the chance, get some impressions off that, and then we'll go final review at the very end. Back home from outdoor riding, took this on a 21-mile bike ride. Here's how it looks on my outdoor bike. A little piece of dirt in it. So a couple things to note, and this is what I experienced while using the saddle on this bike. The height from the rails to the top of the saddle is a little higher than your typical non 3D printed saddle. So I think I measured this one at 1/2 centimeter to 0.75 centimeters. Forgot the exact measurement, where you have to drop your seat post just a little bit so you don't hyperextend your leg. During the entire ride, I was hyperextending. Felt very, very awkward. So realized that once I got home, I needed to lower the saddle a little bit. But overall, comfort-wise, this is a great saddle for my outdoor use. Had no issues, no saddle sores, no chafing, none of that stuff. If you are not really used to a normal saddle without a cutout, although you can kind of see through with the 3D material here, if you do need a cutout, you might be affected by this. So with the other 3D printed saddle I have, it is raised and has a gap, although it's not cut where you can see through it. It does alleviate pressure on your lower areas. And in addition, for me mounting this saddle onto this bike, as you guys can see right here, there is a screw that you need to tighten to get the angle adjustment. So the thing that what I had to do with that was take a hex and slip it in between the material itself, just so I can twist it enough to get the exact angle I needed. If you are unable to do so, this might not be the saddle for you. But besides that, comfort-wise, feel, fit, finish, really happy with the Fizik, and especially with the price I paid. I think it's a great saddle overall if you are used to riding with a Fizik saddle. This type, now I know the Vento and the Tempo are two different kinds. One is a longer nose saddle and one's a shorter nose saddle. Take that into account for whichever one you do decide to pick up. But essentially, that's my first impression of the saddle itself. Lots of miles to ride with it, lots of time to get used to it, and hopefully it works out for me. If it's something that you might be looking into, definitely find a place where you can hopefully try it on at your local bike shop, mount it onto your bike, get like a test ride in if they'll let you do so, just so you can get an initial feel of how it should be. For 3D printed saddles, I think the mainstream brands have it a lot better than the AliExpress ones. Now, everyone's saddle and feel might be different. Again, if you prefer a $40 saddle and it works better than these $100, $200, $300 ones, that's fantastic. If these more expensive ones work better for you, it's a great investment, especially when you're doing long rides on the bike. If you guys have any questions about the saddle, please let me know. Those are the few differences and few impressions of how I feel about it. Biggest thing to know again was the height, so take that into account. And then if you're used to this high saddle with or without a cutout, that helps you with your decision process. Other than that, thank you for tuning to this video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.